guys, I'm back for the next episode of the Monday Mr. Money Mustache Motivation. Mr. Money Mustache is a popular financial independence retire early blogger out here on the internet. I will link to the article that we are reading from in the description box below if you would like to learn more about him and his philosophies. Today's article is from April 30th, 2012, and this one is titled, "The cost of living is too high these days, wah wah." We'll jump into this one because it's a little bit lengthy. On the forum section of this blog, we've got a section called Anti-Mustachian Wall of Shame and Comedy. This category became necessary because sometimes the real world out there just begs to be mocked. Triple M readers around the globe are dutifully reading and absorbing the world's information, and sometimes we come across crap that is so frustrating, so pull out your hair by the roots and slap yourself in the forehead because there's nobody else around to punch you in the face, stupid, that we must share it with each other as a stress-relieving outlet. So these articles get shared on the aforementioned wall, and then appropriate sarcasm is combined with helpful proposals about how the problems described in the articles could easily be solved with simple application of the principles of mustachianism. The trend in recent years is for newspapers and magazines to write touching case studies based on the theme, life has become so hard and expensive these days that even the high-income people are having trouble making ends meet. Let's summarize a few choice examples. Almost Rich, an examination of the true cost of city living in Toronto Life magazine. That article details 5 Toronto families struggling supposedly due to the incredibly high cost of housing in that city. I won't deny that houses are a ripoff in the Toronto area, but check out these snippets from the monthly budget from $196,000 per year family that is just scraping by. And side note, if you didn't know here, Mr. Money Mustache is Canadian originally. Mortgage, $2,500. Utilities, $500. Gas for their Jeep Commander and Ford F-150 truck, $440. Street parking and 2 parking permits, $200. Home and car insurance, $300. Cleaning lady, $160. Groceries, $1,000. Baby supplies and toiletries at drugstores, $75. Wine, $400 to $500. Eating out, $400. Home phone, cable, internet, and 2 cell phones, $280. Dry cleaning, $50. Haircuts, nails, and waxing, $170. Gifts, $200. You have kids, you spend money on toys for other kids, that's how it goes. Daycare for both kids, $2,500. Kids' paid activities and lessons, $200. House maintenance, $410. Clothes, $250. Savings, $0. Ha, we live month to month. When we have money left over, we go out. Next, we move on to the real cost of living, $150,000 per year at money.msn.com. This is a news venue where Mr. Money Mustache himself was once featured unexpectedly and was roundly criticized in 14 pages of comments for fabricating his ridiculous story of spending less than he earned in his 20s and 30s. The Real Cost of Living MSN article basically talks about the results of a recent survey done on the US populace with the following result. The survey asked respondents to choose which of 4 categories best described them. I can't even afford the basics, I can barely afford the basics and nothing else, I can afford the basics plus some extras, and I can afford the basics and the extras, and I'm able to save too. It is only at that $150,000 level that the survey found the vast majority of consumers, 88%, saying they could buy what they need, afford some extras, and still be able to save a bit. Finally, we have a feature from the Bloomberg financial publication entitled Wall Street Bonus Withdrawal Means Trading Aspen for Coupons. In that article, they describe the tragic fate of a man named Andrew Schiff. Schiff, 46, is facing another kind of jam this year. Paid a lower bonus. He said the $350,000 he earns, enough to put him in the country's top 1% by income, doesn't cover his family's private school tuition, a Kent, Connecticut summer rental, and the upgrade they would like from their 1,200 square foot Brooklyn duplex. I feel stuck, Schiff said. The New York that I wanted us to have is just beyond my reach. The smaller bonus checks that hit accounts across the financial services industry this month are making it difficult to maintain the lifestyles that Wall Street workers expect, according to interviewers with bankers and their accountants, therapists, advisors, and headhunters. People who don't have money don't understand the stress, said Alan DeLugosh, a partner at accounting firm Marks Paneth and Sharon LLP in New York, who specializes in financial planning for the wealthy. Could you imagine what it's like to say, I got 3 kids in private school, I have to think about pulling them out? How do you do that? Now obviously the first thing that you'd need to do if any of these people came to you to express their problems would be to cry out, wah wah, poor baby, while slapping their face back and forth for 15 minutes. But after that initial therapeutic session, you could probably get into some real insights. Why is it that almost everyone in this ridiculously rich country feels that they are just scraping by? Why do only the top 1% to 2% on average feel a bit better about their situation? Why do the Wall Street people feel like they are still scraping by when they are in the top 1%? And equally significantly, why do Mr. and Mrs. Money Mustache feel that they are not just scraping by with a monthly spending level of only $2,000, about 80 to 90% less than most of the people profiled in this article? In fact, they claim they are leading an exorbitant lifestyle with spending that is almost double what they would consider to be just scraping by. And what's more, they are not even spending all the money they are earning, even with no full-time jobs. What the hell is going on? One of these two sides of the argument is crazy, and if it's the big income people that are crazy, that means all the newspapers are crazy too, since they regularly sympathize with the commonly made case that life is too expensive these days, profiling family after family that just can't make it. I think I figured it out. Not many people realize it, but food, clothing, housing, durable goods, travel, and a host of other things are cheaper today than they have been throughout most of history. These prices have actually been dropping in inflation-adjusted terms for decades. So if you focus your spending on meeting your needs, as the Triple M family likes to do, you couldn't have been born at a better time. Life is fantastic. On the other hand, corporate marketing skill and consumer envy have been rising faster than inflation for quite some time. On top of that, the very richest slice of the population has seen its income rising much faster than inflation. They have fallen for the natural human instinct to live very lavish lifestyles with this giant income, which sets an example for the not quite as rich people just below them in the income distribution ladder, who then influence the next level down, and so on. This anti-Mustachian trickle-down effect has become so effective, aided by the lubricant of excellent marketing, that we now have people who make $40,000 per year thinking it's appropriate to hire a house cleaner and pay $45 for salon and spa treatments on the weekends. Teenagers who earn $8 per hour drive jacked up pickup trucks that cost more than the Triple M family's entire vehicle fleet and consume more than $8 per hour in gasoline alone. So when you see all these articles which measure the number of people who are in debt and struggling to get by and unable to save for their own retirement, what does it mean? It is not a measure of how the cost of living has suddenly reduced its decades-long trend of marching downwards due to technological progress. What you're seeing is a measurement of how well marketing and natural human envy is doing in our current society. Isn't that interesting? All of these complaints and stories actually have nothing to do with making ends meet. They're really just measuring our insatiability. And it is indeed very interesting to see that it is rising. That data may in fact be more interesting than what the news reporters thought they were writing about, i.e. cost of living. Of course, there are still a few people around who realize how good we have it. Most of them are right next to you on the internet reading the Mr. Money Mustache today. But they get a lot less newspaper stories written about them. That's because people who have got their shit together are considered smug. Newspaper stories do much better when they make people feel like their problems are not their own. Better to blame our terrible and expensive society. Wah wah. Because of their sensationalist leanings, I've pretty much given up on most newspapers, but I'm thankful to have the wise Mustachian readers still out there combing the internet and reporting the worst of the worst for our amusement. Happy Monday and enjoy your plentiful week. Alright guys, honestly, I did not check the comment section on that article, but I can only imagine what it looks like, because there are so few of us out there who I feel like we have the blinders lifted off of our eyes. Like, we see the underlying truth in articles like these that he brings up. My favorite line from this entire article is, "What you're seeing is a measurement of how well marketing and natural human envy is doing in our current society." It doesn't matter what generation you were born in. Everybody is trying to keep up with the Joneses, and they feel like if they don't, they are somehow less than. Here's the thing. You are not less than anyone else out there because of what you make or how you choose to spend it. Personal finance is personal. And unlike Mr. Money Mustache, for people who are high earners and big spenders out there, I've got no problem with them being high earners or spending a lot of money too, as long as they are fully aware of the opportunity cost of the choices they're making, and they understand that if they choose to spend X amount of money on Y thing that may or may not be important in my own eyes, as long as they understand that that X amount of money is now no longer available for them to invest and grow and build their wealth and make a difference in society, leave more wealth for their own children and family when they pass on, leave it to charities when they pass on. As long as they understand that choice, and that's a choice that they personally are okay with and want to make, it's their money, guys. They've worked hard for it and they can spend it however they see fit. But the people in these articles that are mentioned that feel like they're only scraping by when they're in the top 1% of earners in the country, those are the people who have not woken up yet. They don't have the correct perspective on their earnings and spending, in my opinion. And maybe those people will figure it out eventually, maybe not. I feel like a lot of people in the top 1%, they do rely on financial planners and feel like handling money is not something that they can do themselves without help. I would argue that any of us out there with just a basic understanding of personal finance and a very basic level of knowledge about investing can handle our own finances. If you feel like you're one of those people who has no idea when it comes to investing or saving, I always link down in the description box. I would highly recommend to just take a couple of days and read through the book by J.L. Collins, The Simple Path to Wealth. Y'all, that book covers passive investing and keeps it as simple as it can be, in my own opinion. Sure, investing can be super intimidating for a lot of us out there. I don't know everything about it, but nor do I feel like you need to in order to be successful with investing and handle your own finances. So that's a great book to read, and that's why I always link it down in my description box below. And another great one to read that I feel like goes along with the theme of this Mr. Money Mustache article would be The Millionaire Next Door, written by David Bach. I don't have that one linked in every description box of mine, but I'll put a link to it down in the description box below. That's a good one to read in this case because he really discusses how the everyday millionaire is made and how they don't look like what you would expect a millionaire to look like. That is a really interesting study on personal choices with people who earn their income and how much they choose to save and invest and build their own wealth. So I highly recommend both of those books, and I'll link to them down below. I will link also to this Mr. Money Mustache article if y'all want to check it out and take a look at the comments that was left on this article. And if you enjoy Mr. Money Mustache, then here at the end I will link to the other Mr. Money Mustache articles that I've done. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch y'all next time.